This is the Work at Home Heroes podcast. Your host, Caitlin Pyle, digs deep with people from all over the world who make money from home. Get ready to wake up to a world of possibility for freedom, flexibility, and a life you'll love.
Well, hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Work at Home Heroes podcast. I'm your host, Caitlin Pyle, and I'm here with Trish Springsteen. Now, before I introduce Trish to you, I just want to include a little disclaimer because we kind of have a rule here at Work at Home Heroes that we interview people only earning between $500 and $4,000 a month that have been working at home between 6 months and 2 years. And we do that because we know there's a lot of people that are wanting to become Work at Home Heroes, but they're scared to start. And so we want to talk to people who are just a few months to a few years ahead of where you might be listening to this right now. But every now and then we break the rules. And if you know me at all, I am a rebel. I like to break rules. And so I set rules, but then I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Anyway, so I wanted to bring Trish on to talk about her journey because she's got some great insights to share. She is a multi-international award-winning speaker, mentor, international best-selling author, radio host, and she specializes in speaker training. Clients work with Trish because they know that she can help them leverage their business with speaking and communication. And that's really exciting to me because I have a degree in communication. I don't really know how to use it. So I'm glad to have Trish on. She's been working from home for 10 years and believes that when you believe, act, and share, you become empowered and are building the foundation for success. Trish is the author, co-author, and contributing author of 11 books and is featured in Motivational Speakers Australia. Trish, welcome to Work at Home Heroes.
Hi, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Caitlin.
Thanks so much for being here. We're certainly excited to talk to you. And guys listening, Trish is definitely a Work at Home hero. She is awake at 1 o'clock in the morning to talk to me here in Orlando, Florida. So let's get a little bit more into your background, Trish. What did you do before you started working at home?
I was working in business organizations, actually working for an energy company, bidding electricity into the marketplace, actually. So I was having a bit of fun. I've worked previously before that in medical industry, in the medical indemnity organisation, and before that, 10 years in the travel industry. So quite a varied industry, but all of which has given me experience, which I've brought to being able to do what I want to do now.
Yeah, for sure. And did you go to college for a degree, or how did you get started in your work life?
I did 6 years part-time at a university here and got a degree, a Bachelor of Business in Health Administration. That was while I was working in the medical indemnity organisation, and have done a variety of short courses in business training. I have a certificate for in training. So that's all the background in that.
Cool. And you're constantly learning as of right now. I mean, that's the beauty of knowledge is that we're never done learning. And I like to say, if you're done learning or you think you're done learning, then you're probably done earning, because the more stuff you learn, the more problems you can help solve for other people. And of course, as we know, all the Work at Home heroes know that if you can solve problems, you can make money. And so that's exactly what you've been doing for, it sounds like the last couple of decades, which is really exciting. So about what your business is now, you mentor clients, right? And what do you mentor them to do?
My passion is helping people to leverage their business of speaking and communication. So when I'm mentoring my clients, I'm delving into their business to find out where it is that we can add some speaking and communication to leverage that business, to move it along. Quite a lot of my clients are frustrated. They've plateaued. They're not sure how to get known and be seen. So we look at that, and it could be as simple as being able to go into network meetings and speak about their business. Or it could be just wanting to be able to do videos, live videos or online. It could even be doing webinars or even blogging and articles. It's wherever they need to be able to get up, get known, be seen, and become an influencer and just push their business further than what they're doing. So it's all about making sure you don't miss out on opportunities, that you have those speaking skills, that confidence and self-belief to grab the opportunities that come your way when you're working from home.
Yeah, and I think confidence and that self-belief is such a hot topic because so many people are like, I don't want to get started until I feel confident. Well, guess what? You don't get confidence until you do something. You don't get traction without action. And so let's speak to that a little bit. You said that when you believe, act, and share, you become empowered and are building the foundation for success. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Absolutely. It all comes from that confidence and self-belief. It's the prime factor to be able to, even to have that confidence and self-belief to start working from home. Because a lot of people, it's a big step to step outside their comfort zone and work situation where, everything, they know what to expect. And then when you're working from home, it's like, well, you don't always know what to expect. Things come out of left field.
Right.
So my passion is helping you to have that confidence and self-belief in the fact that you have a message or you had a business, you had a desire to change that work situation and work from home. And then once you've got that confidence and self-belief, I'll work with you then to act, to give you strategies, techniques that basically around speaking, but whatever it is that we need to, so that you can act on that belief and then share that message with the people who need to hear it. And it's all about having 60 seconds of insane courage to either start your business, to step up and speak about it, to go and talk to your first client, or to just share it and know that there are people out there who need to hear your message. So don't be selfish. So it's around believing, acting, and sharing.
I love it. And if you've got something that's good, then it's kind of your moral obligation to go out and share it with as many people as possible, right?
Absolutely. It's one of the things I share with my mentoring clients is that a lot of people are worried about speaking or wanting to be perfect or wanting to know how to go about being known and being seen. And one of the things I say is, well, let's look at it this way. Do you really want to be called selfish? You've got a message, you've got a passion, you've got a product. Now, if you let your fears or the thought that you're not quite sure where to go stop you, then you're being selfish because there are people out there who want to see your product. There are people out there who want to hear your message and what you've got to show from your business. And by not grabbing that courage, by not stepping up, by not sharing it, by not believing and acting, then you could be selfish because you're withholding what could change someone's life.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like you're singing to me right now because it's the same as the message that I'm always, like a broken record, just peddling this message that you've got to flip the switch and stop thinking about yourself and your fears and your doubts and your this and that. You've got to think about the other people. You're helping them. So if you turn the focus off of yourself and onto the people that you're going to be serving, then it takes off so much pressure that we put on ourselves so much of the time. And the reality is, like, even if you feel like you have no confidence, right? It just takes 60 seconds of courage, like what you said. Courage, confidence are very related things. But if you don't have any confidence, you can always have courage. And you have to just get your message out there. And I think that becomes a lot easier when we stop thinking about ourselves, right? Flip the switch. We start thinking about the people that are out there that need to hear and learn what we have to say. And I think it just makes it a whole lot easier. So I want to know, just kind of transitionally from kind of your corporate work, and I know that you did some speaking for a volunteer organization, you had a business partner. Was there a moment where you guys just like looked at each other and you wanted to take this more into a home thing as opposed to corporate work?
Yes, there was. We were doing a lot of volunteer work for an organization, doing some training, and that's where I met my business partner originally. And we're doing a lot of training. We're doing some corporate training. And we suddenly looked at ourselves one day and each other and thought, why are we doing this for nothing? We love what we're doing. We're pretty awesome at what we're doing. So let's start our own business and do it out of home. And that's what we did. And we did a lot of corporate stuff out of home for about 5-6 years. And then the global financial crisis hit, which dried up that corporate work a lot. And we had a lot of discussion and then morphed into mentoring more one-on-one. And about that time, my business partner and I split. She wanted to go and do a lot more of her thing, which was helping veterans. And I wanted to do a lot more mentoring and working one-on-one. So from there, the business has sort of grown into more mentoring, more working with people to leverage their business. And we've gone from there.
Wow, that's really encouraging, especially, in the face of that global financial crisis. So many people folded at that point. They're like, well, guess that's it. They kind of use those external circumstances as reasons that they could not go on. But you guys pivoted and you morphed your business into something that worked with the environment that you are now in. And so you realized still at that time that you had control and that these outside circumstances weren't going to keep you back or destroy your business because you are your business, right? And so that financial crisis isn't going to destroy you. And you are your business and you totally own that. So loving it. And if you don't mind, Trish, I'm curious. I know everybody else is curious because I introduced you as a veteran. You've been working home for 10 years. So tell us what kind of income you've been able to build for yourself, just on average, each month when working at home?
It fluctuates. Sometimes I can bring in about 5,000 and maybe a bit more per month. Other times it might be in between that 500 and 4,000. It depends whether I'm doing some mentoring packages or whether I'm doing some workshops. So it averages out around about, probably close to about 5,000, but depending on the year, it can be a bit less. But that's the fun, I guess, in a way, from working from home. It depends on how hard you want to work as well and how committed you want to be at that particular time. So sometimes I prefer to do workshops, and I don't mind if I learn a little bit less because I might want to take some time off and just do some stuff for me. Other times I'm full on, I'm writing, I'm doing mentoring packages, I've got 2 or 3 clients on at the same time. So it can fluctuate. But that to me is the bonus of working from home.
Absolutely. And the reality is in the Work at Home Heroes community and during the Work at Home Summit, a lot of people, they weren't talking about money at all. They wanted to work at home, not because they wanted to make boatloads of money, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month. They want freedom and they want flexibility. And it's so much more than that. And so whenever I do talk about money here on the podcast or within the group or whatever, I like to take it just a few levels deeper about why do you think you want money? You don't want a bunch of paper with deceased notables on it, right? Green or whatever color. I mean, it's much more colorful in other countries than the US, but although that's changing, we have a lot more color on our bills now, but we don't want these like sheets of paper that represent not even gold anymore. It's just, Federal Reserve Trust. We want freedom and flexibility, and we want to use money as a tool to get there. So it's not the money that we want, even though sometimes we tell ourselves, I just want to make money, right?
No, it's not about the money, really. I mean, yes, you need money to survive, to pay the mortgage, but unless you love what you're doing, unless you're really passionate about it, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be all in and you've got to fall in love with your customer. That's kind of a thing that I've been encouraging the community with quite a bit lately. And it's really just going back to that whole flip the switch mentality. I mean, you can obviously believe in what you have to offer and know that it's beneficial, but you've got to love your customer more than you love your product.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about, you had a lot of self-belief when you and your business partner in your application, you said that you parted ways amicably, and that's really cool. But I'm curious about, did you have mental, emotional challenges when you're getting started on your own that you kind of came up against, and how did you overcome those?
Oh, yes. Look, anybody who tells you they don't have challenges when they start in a business or whether it's with a business, they're liars. Whether it's with a business partner or we had challenges when we first started, but I also had challenges when we did amicably part. And that was another different set of challenges because my business partner and I were really good. We worked off each other. We each had different skills that we brought. And I was very much a people person, mentoring person. We have a blog that we had. The blog's been going since the time we started our business. And she did most of the writing. I did some of the blog posts. And we got together and we shared putting together our workshops and composing them. So when we parted, I had this little mindset thing that I wasn't the writer. I wasn't the person who did all that. I was the person that set up and did the training and connected with the people. And there I was with my business by myself. And I had to write, I had to blog, I had to do this. And it was like a really big aha moment for myself because I had to push myself to do it. And then the next thing was I knew I absolutely loved it. And it's like I've got 11 books that I've co-authored, contributed, authored, or authored to. I write a blog that has last year got the top 50 public speaking blogs that I was awarded. And so what I realized was that we can be more than what we think we are. And sometimes we let our circumstances and our comfort zone dictate what we do. We need to push ourselves outside that comfort zone.
Yes.
And really look at trying new things and don't limit ourselves by what we think that's all we can do. Open up those gates and try everything. Okay, I'm not always the perfect in certain things. I'm not always the perfect in marketing and that sort of thing. But I learned that I can actually write. I can put together training packages. I can do all that. So it's our mindset and our limits that often stop us from exploring every aspect of what we can be. And that's one of the things I'm so thankful about. I loved what we did before, but I found the pushing myself out to be a comfort zone, to be doing my business on my own, to having to do all those other aspects has helped me to grow in confidence and self-belief and to realize I'm pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, I love it. Trish, I'm like, I don't want to mess up the audio, but I want to give you a round of applause right now. And I know that people at home are feeling the same way. I love it. And what you're saying about, opening up the gate, sometimes I like to liken that experience and not knowing what's possible for yourself as living inside a dark cardboard box with a tiny hole through which you can only see the things that you allow yourself to see. And you don't realize that all you need to do is take your damn elbows and elbow your way out of the box, punch a hole into the ceiling and just destroy that box. And you'll see what all is possible. And it's really, growth versus the fixed mindset. And many of us are trained to kind of have this fixed mindset. I was the same way when I was a freelance proofreader. I really believed with my heart of hearts deep down and at the core of me, believed that that was the only thing I was ever going to be able to do because I didn't have any other training, didn't have this, didn't have that. I had decided that that's where I was going to stay. And then slowly, ever so slowly, things came into my life that kind of cracked that belief I had about myself. And I let more of that in. I realized, whoa, like learning changes everything. You can add skills, you can add so many different things. You're not done learning. Your brain's not at capacity. And what could I always challenge the Work at Home Heroes audience? What could change in your life if you put new knowledge into your brain that allowed you to solve more problems for people? What would change in your life? And just really get them to think about that, because if they've got in their mind that things aren't going to change, that they're not going to learn anything, they're not going to make any more money, they're always going to struggle, money's always going to be a problem for them, blah, blah, blah. They have decided to believe that. So if you are listening to this right now and you're listening to Trish and I speak about this mindset thing, I really want you to be honest with yourself. I'm always challenging our audience. Be honest with yourself. Are you deciding to believe those things, or are they actually true? So just really get down into the meat of that. And Trish, one thing that a lot of our audience struggles with is people in our immediate sphere of influence, friends and family. They see us wanting to start our work at home thing, and we get eye rolls. We get, oh my gosh, that's a fancy hobby, or let's see how that works. And there's negative voices in our sphere of influence. Did you have anything like that happened to you over the last decade, or even before that, people that were just negative influences in your life? And if so, how did you navigate that?
Look, people don't always get what you want to do. And sometimes family can be the worst things. They love you and they support you. But I've had people tell me, oh, it's just a hobby. Because, if you're not making like that 7-figure business and you're not doing all that humongous amount of money, people sort of look at that as that's the success. And I don't measure success by that. As long as I've got stuff to keep me going, I don't have to be, as I said, sometimes I get a large amount, sometimes I don't. But when people look at that, they sometimes think, oh, well, you're just playing around, you're just doing a hobby. And I've had that word said to me. And I just looked at people and said, well, no, I'm not. I'm doing something that I think is changing people's lives. And I'm doing something that I get. As long as you're okay with what you're doing and what you get, that's what counts. So you're the only person really that can control your attitude and thinking. And you're the only person that can control your response.
Exactly.
So not theirs. And if you let people and what they say and the words they say control you, you're dancing to their tune. And you shouldn't. You control your response. If that's what you want to do, if this is where your passion is, if this is where your dreams are and you're working towards that, then that people keep working towards it. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, and knowing too that all the people in our immediate sphere of influence, they have mindsets that are probably working against them too. I mean, they don't believe that something like what you're doing is possible for themselves, and seeing you go out and do it challenges their mindset. Or, well, that's not possible, just because they think they can't do it. They've decided to believe that about themselves. And so it's kind of like hurt people. And so if they say something negative, it's because they probably have that same belief about themselves. And so just understanding where they're coming from when they say negative things sometimes, and I like to say awareness is often curative, right? So if you're really upset by what people are saying about you, really put yourself in their shoes and think, why are they saying that? They're probably not very happy. They're probably not, they don't have the greatest mindset. Same thing with haters. If you get some people that are saying mean things and you really want to write back, don't waste your time, because what kind of person spends their time writing mean things on the internet, right? Not you. So you don't want to do that. So just kind of putting yourself in the shoes of the person that giving you the negative or unsolicited or sometimes plain mean feedback. Some people have written into me and just got mean people in their life. And so that's just my way to combat is just do your thing. You do you, let them do them. And if they want to spend their time being mean to you, then that's great. They get $0, 0 cents an hour for that. So just let them do their jobs, right?
Well, people come from different perceptions, Caitlin. They come from their own experience and perceptions. I mean, I had a mentoring client who was just like completely rocked one day when someone in her family said to her, how can you write a book? How can you have a business? How can you be successful? You didn't learn that at school. You didn't finish school. And I just said to her, well, they're coming from your perceptions. You've got a book. She hasn't. You've got a business. They haven't.
Yeah.
So that's where they're coming from. They equate it because of different things. You believe yourself, you just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
Exactly. Because you know what's possible and they don't. And you might be the catalyst for them to be like, wow, if Trish can do it, if Caitlin can do it, if Amy, Sam, whoever's listening to this right now can do it, then I can do it too. So just live your life as an example. I think that's great advice. So let's talk about your relationship with your partner. Is it your husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how has he been with you working at home and your journey over the last 10 years?
He's completely supportive. He's the wind beneath my wings. We've been married 42 years.
Wow. Congratulations. That's amazing. I haven't even been alive that long. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'll just let out my age, I guess.
Well, tell us, Trish, how old are you? Because there's people listening that think that because they're X age that they can't do this. So how old are you?
I'm 62.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Trisha's 62. She's got this business. She's making it happen. That means she started working at home when she was 52. What is your excuse at this point, you guys? You can make this happen. Oh my gosh. So I'm glad I asked this. So your husband's been super, super supportive. And so he does
a lot of the gophering for me when he does some of the running around. I've suddenly realised that I need something photocopied. He does that. He does laminating. He's completely supportive in that. In fact, I'm probably very lucky because he does most of the cooking. He looks after the house and does most of the cooking because he wants me to do my books, to write and to do my business. So I'm very lucky. I lucked out very much in that area.
That's excellent. And hopefully, if there's somebody that's listening that's having trouble with their spouse, they'll listen to this episode together and kind of be encouraged and look at the mindset of the relationship and make some progress in that area. You're a busy person. You've got your husband helping you out. How do you keep yourself personally on track all day to make sure you get things done?
I'm a lovely list maker. I like to do the first thing in the morning. I do a to-do list. 3 or 4 things I want to get finished during the day. Do I get that whole list finished? Some days, yes. Some days, no. It doesn't matter. What it does is just focuses for me. These are my priorities today. And some of them I'll get finished, some don't. But it gives me that focus and I know, well, this is what I have to do. I have to always keep on top of myself because I get bright, shiny objectitis very easy. Oh, my gosh. It's, I think, one of the side things you've got to be aware of when you're working from home because you set the times, you set your limits, you set your parameters. So you do have to be a little bit aware of getting distracted, procrastination, bright, shiny objects. And that's why I like my lists. They keep me on track. I look at it, get those things done. And it's something nice for me when I can take my pen and I just go, poof, I've done that one today.
Yeah, I use lists as well.
Yeah.
I actually I draw little boxes next to the thing so I can check the box. Sometimes I'll like just use my pen and just strike through the whole thing, but I like boxes sometimes as well. And I really like your approach to the purpose of your list. I think some people will approach the making a list thing like, I got to get all this done or I'm a failure, right? And if they don't get all their stuff done, they beat themselves up over it. But the way that you're looking at it is you write the list so you can stay focused. It's like your priority list, so the things that you want to work through. Yeah. And it doesn't mean if you don't get it all done on Monday that you're a failure for the rest of the week. No, it just keeps your focus on that. So I'd encourage folks listening at home or on the road or wherever you're listening to this to keep that in mind. If you're a list maker and you've ever beat yourself up about just not getting to everything on your list in one day, that's not the purpose of the list. It's just to keep you focused and away from that shiny object syndrome or bright shiny objectitis. I like that. That's awesome. So what about your work-life balance? How many hours a week do you work and how do you balance your family and your business?
I think for me, that's one of the greatest aspects of being able to work from home and to being my own boss to a certain extent is that if I really want to get involved, I've got PowerPoint presentations I'm putting together or a book that I'm writing or I'm creating a new course or doing discovery sessions with my clients, then I can be full on And I could work 50 hours a week, 60 hours a week. But then there might be a time when I need to step back and take a break. So I might have a whole day off. So if I want to have a day off and just read all day, because that's my relaxation and that's how I do, because funnily enough, even though I'm a speaker and everything, I'm actually an introvert. So reading and just doing something like that really recharges me. But it means that I can do that. I can take the day off and read. I can go out and have a lunch with my sister or go and have lunch with my mother. Yeah, I might actually work late again. I'm actually a night owl, so I work late at nights. I sometimes often don't get to bed until 1 o'clock, but I might have a power nap in the afternoon to make up for it. That's because I can do my business and I can balance it around who I am, how it works for me, how I get charged, how I get energized. I just work around that.
I love it. I love it. So final question. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, but it's the question I love to ask at the end of every episode that we have here for Working at Home Heroes podcast. What advice would you give, Trish, to someone who wants to work at home, but is just sitting there scared to take that first step?
Think about your why. Think about what gets you up and enjoying each day, what your passion is. And then think about where you want to be, where you want to go, what sort of lifestyle you want, who you want to be with, and then take 60 seconds of insane courage and do it. And I said before, ask yourself, can you be selfish not to share your passion with someone who may need to see it? Be fully aware of the challenges. It's not all rosy glasses. No way. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be setbacks. There'll be things that may not work. But hey, as far as I'm concerned, every day is a learning lesson. If something doesn't work, it just tells me there's another way of doing it, and I change it. Don't let the challenges stop what you want to do, because if you don't do it, you're always going to wonder what if.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't like what if.
Yeah.
I don't like what if.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Yeah, just do it. And that's great advice to be aware of the challenges too, because a lot of us just see these challenges and they're like, well, we look at them as reasons to stop, right? And not as something to just navigate around, like figure out a way to get around those challenges. Over, under, destroy the challenge, punch in the face, whatever you need to do. Well, thank you so much, Trish, for being on Working at Home Heroes podcast. I know that there's going to be some questions. We're going to tag you in the Facebook group, the Working at Home Heroes Facebook group, with your episode. Where can people reach you? Can you tell us your website and where people can find you if they want to follow up or learn more from you?
Okay, my website is trishspringsteen.com. You can go there, you can book a discussion session with me if you want to. Facebook, look for Trish Springsteen, look for Trishel, Trischel. I'm the person who wears purple. I've got purple hair, purple clothes. I'm extremely colorful. You can't miss me.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for joining us on the Working at Home Heroes podcast, Trish.
You're very welcome. Enjoyed it very much. Have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the Work at Home Heroes podcast with Caitlin Pyle. Be sure to listen to previous episodes at caitlinpyle.co/podcast. While you're there, read the show notes and check out all the great links and resources mentioned in this episode and more. You can also subscribe to the Work at Home Heroes podcast so you'll automatically be notified when our next episode is available. Remember, as Caitlin says, mo skills means mo money.